Convicted rapist and murderer Thabo Bester and his girlfriend, Dr Nandipha Magudumana, claim they are being mistreated by prison officials. Bester alleges that his belongings as well, worth almost 30 million rand, were stolen. That was during his arrest in Tanzania. They've gone missing, he says. The two were reunited in court yesterday for the first time since their deportation from that country back in April. Let's unpack the various angles to this story. Criminal law expert Ian Allis joins us via our video link. Ian, shall we begin with the very enamored looks that were given in the court yesterday? It makes for good social media fodder, but should the judge in this case have intervened, because they were apparently giggling throughout proceedings yesterday?
Good morning, Michelle, and good morning to the viewers. These two are taking this matter as an absolute joke, and that's the first problem. Now, the judge was perfectly correct to admonish them for their behavior, because realistically it's a court. The court, there needs to be an element of respect and dignity maintained in your behavior. These two have used this as a fashion parade at one stage, as an opportunity to go ahead and air certain of the most absurd views as well, and carry on as if this is their playground. I don't know if it's whether or not they don't see the severity of what's actually happening, or if this is just a playing up for the cameras. But the judge was actually perfectly correct by chastising them for their behavior. It's all wonderful that they're lovey-dovey and they want to, and they're partners and whatever it is. The fact is that it's a courtroom, not a soap opera. So realistically, there wasn't anything inappropriate by the judge intervening in that aspect.
Yeah, I mean, we cannot forget the incredibly serious nature of the charges that they face. And, you know, one just thinks about the people who have been impacted by the charges against them and how they must surely feel watching this unfold in court.
It's not just them, Michelle, but also remember, Thabo Bester is a convicted murderer and rapist. What about the victims that from his previous conviction? What about the family from that perspective? He's making an absolute joke out of what he's in actual fact done.
Yeah, absolutely. Shall we talk about what they've now accused police of? Nandipha Magudumana has, through her lawyer, told the court that she is handcuffed even while traveling in the back of a van. She says she has no way of holding herself up as the van takes turns and the driver brakes throughout the 2-hour journey from the correctional center to the court. Is this unusual for an inmate to be treated in this way, Ian?
No, it isn't. The problem is they also treated as high-risk inmates. So one must also take a look, based on the history, with the escape, with the brazen escape, if one could actually say that, they are going to be considered as high-risk inmates. It's very common practice that inmates are handcuffed and shackled during transportation from the prison to the court. There's nothing unusual about it. Unfortunately, she's complaining and whinging over absolutely nothing. That's common protocol. It's not inhumane. The factor is especially in light of the fact that she's assisted and he's been involved already in a massive prison escape, what do they expect? Do they want the royal carpet to run out for them? Perhaps they want to go ahead and have their own escort, and maybe they want to appear, and maybe they want the paparazzi appearing for them. That's common protocol. Yeah,
Bester for his part as well. Handcuffed, he says, for 23 hours a day in his cell. Outside of the fact that, as you say, he's already staged a brazen escape from a maximum security prison, is this also out of the ordinary or not?
Let me put it to you this way. It is a bit extraordinary for him to be handcuffed 23 hours a day and shackled. But also the man is a pathological liar. Let's be realistic. You're talking about who's telling the truth, the prison authorities or him. I doubt they're going to be shackling him for that extensive period. But I wouldn't be surprised, taking into account his access to the outside world, his allegations, as well as the continuous lies that go ahead and stem from whatever version he's in actual fact producing. Remember, both of them are hardly the most credible people at this present moment from what they've in actual fact alleged from the history of the entire, all the way to the history of the entire arrest.
Yeah.
So whether they are being handcuffed to that extensive period, I don't really think we know, and I wouldn't exactly take what his version is on face value.
It brings me to my question around the items that he says were stolen from him through his arrest in Tanzania. And I mean, the list is incredible, from high-value cell phones, laptops, sunglasses, bags, watches. The list goes on, even Swiss francs to the value of over 3 million rand, £500,000 also stolen from him. All of this totaling 3 million rand. Yeah. No, I think it might. I think it might actually be higher than that. But yeah, I'm struggling to find the exact amount here. But it's in the millions.
As far as I understand, and thanks for that, Michelle, they're estimated to be 30 million.
30 million, right? Right. Yeah.
I actually consider that to be taken with a pinch of salt. I think it's a social media ploy that he's trying to set up so that he can almost encourage people. It's almost like one of those Hollywood movies. He's all but standing up in court and saying, I'll give R1 million to whoever breaks me out next. It's almost like this setup, if one could go ahead and say, I don't know, and maybe it's not the most intelligent one, because of what he's just alleged now, if that is in fact the case, he's just copped to so many foreign exchange infringements, it's not even funny. That itself is probably about another 15 or 20 years in jail for those type of foreign exchange infringements. So to me, I think it's a social media ploy, and that's just my opinion coming from it. But what he's alleging now is a further criminal offence of foreign exchange infringements.
Okay, that's an angle that we didn't consider. You're saying that what it sounds like, just going by this person's history, going by this brazen escape from prison, what we were told he's paid, prison officials, etc., in aiding and abetting his previous escape from prison, that essentially he was putting an ad out yesterday.
That's exactly what it is. He's saying he's got money and he's willing to use it, and that's nothing for him. A few million is nothing. He's got cold hard cash, and he's not afraid to use it. That's exactly the message that it comes across.
Chilling. Ian Allis, criminal law expert. Let me thank you for joining us this morning on the AM Report.
Thank you.